Well, you're tuned into the Barry and Joe show. Here we are back together again on the radio, and it would be so apropos to bring on a musician by the name of Melody. I think it's kismet that a musician has the name Melody. Please welcome Melody Federer's on the show.
Hey. Okay, I'm done. Hi, Melody. Thanks for coming on.
Thankful to be here. Thanks for having me. You're a legend, so this is awesome.
Barry is a legend, isn't he?
Oh,
Way
gosh.
to go, Barry. Way to be legendary.
Here we go.
So, Melody, tell all of our listeners here, because we already know, but I want to ask you, where are you from?
Oh, man. As Forrest Gump.
I know. It's a hard question for you because it's not like an easy answer. For me, it's like, I'm from Orange County. I grew up in Fullerton. It's pretty boring. Blah, blah, blah. Barry's like interesting and he's got some fun stuff. But it's like it's not like one city or one state. So go for it.
Yeah. As Johnny Cash would say, I've been everywhere, man. I was born in the Bible Belt in Texas. And then, my dad was a pastor back then. I'm a PK. He's not anymore, but my parents come from St. Louis, a very Catholic Irish town. And my dad had 10 brothers and sisters, and I have 72 cousins in St. Louis.
Yeah, sounds like my Catholic family. I know. I'm right there with you.
Right. No birth control in Catholicism. So lots of babies. And so when my parents kind of burnt out of the whole Bible Belt Texas scene, they're like, let's get back to St. Louis. So they moved us back, and I feel like I grew up there, from 10 to 18.
Oh yeah, those are pretty formidable years right there. You're trying to figure out, you're getting away from I want to be like my mom or I want to be like my dad to who am I?
Yeah, I like
am
that.
I like my friend Roger Federer, or am I more like
my distant cousin,
Joe or Barry over here? Who am I?
Who are we?
Is that really your distant cousin?
We're just very distant, very on the Swiss side.
Very, 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 very distant.
We're definitely related, but he hasn't responded to my Facebook requests.
What? He hasn't given you any money? Roger, can you at least throw her a pair of your own shoes? Come on, there are shoes named after you. You helped design them. Can you at least throw her those? She needs some good shoes for stage.
Old shoes. A little nepotism over here.
Exactly. Hey, everybody loves a little nepotism. Everybody, everywhere. I wish I had a little of that going myself. I need some help.
Right? I know. Right, inflation, man. We all need a little nepotism.
Cool. All right. So you're in St. Louis from 10 to 18, and you're figuring out who you are. Is that where you started getting more into music?
I love this. Actually, not really yet. My dad, he would play songs to my mom on the guitar when I was little, and I think that really stuck out to me. He'd play James Taylor, and he'd play on the piano.
Was it like Barbie? Can I play guitar at you?
I haven't seen Barbie yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Go see. You are gonna laugh at this one part because there's a one part where he says, "Can I play guitar at you?" Not for you, not with you, at you, and it's Ken, hilarious.
Is Ken so an idiot in the movie?
They're all Ken.
Oh my god! No, I don't want to ruin it for you.
Okay.
He's not an idiot. He's fantastic.
Okay.
He is Canuck.
All right.
Okay. I like the movie so much. My wife bought me a I Am Knuff tank top. That's how much I love the movie.
See, I don't even know what that means because I haven't seen it.
Knuff. You put a Ken and enough together. Knuff.
Oh, Knuff. Okay.
You're Knuff.
Knuff. I'm Knuff. Got it.
You're Knuff.
Okay. I got that.
Anyway, that's all right.
I'm with you.
Tangent done. So he's playing James Taylor with your mom. You're playing the guitar, serenading her, and that's what got you into it. Did you start singing along with him?
No, well, and he would play piano by ear, and he kind of showed me how to play. I think he showed me how to play "Oh Holy Night" with both hands, and then I was able to pick up, just by ear, kind of how to play, basically, kind of like he did. And so then I would play the piano. We had this old piano from my great grandma down in the garage / my older brother's room / my dad's office. And it was this old upright, so out of tune, but I would just play, those easy fake book chord books, and I discovered all the old standards of like World War II and just like all those classic standards I really fell in love with. And I don't know, that's kind of how I got sucked into it. But my dad says I wrote songs even when I was a little girl. He would tell people to give me words at the church or whatever, and I would string them together into a song. And so I think I've just always been doing it.
Really cool. I mean, because I am always fascinated by people that can pick up music by ear, because I don't have that talent. And if you don't have that talent, it's like magic when you see other people do it. I'm really impressed
by people who can like pay their bills.
Well, you're not going to be impressed by me then. I can sing a little bit, but the whole music thing is crazy. House. Wait, what was it? One more time? I'm sorry.
Well, my wash machine isn't working, and I guess most people know that you're supposed to open this thing on the bottom and drain it and clean it, and I that's news to me. I just didn't know that was a thing. Like, I'm impressed by those people who just seem to know all these things you're supposed to do in life, like clean your wash machine. Yeah.
This is not part of the plan. Regular people problem.
Regular. What is that?
I'm amazed by regular people.
See, I'm a regular person. I just use something until it breaks and then I buy a new one. Wait, no, that's not right. No, I shouldn't do that. No, I try to fix things. But I live in an apartment. So it's like when my washer breaks, I'm like, I just call the guy and he comes down and he fixes it.
Well, I tried to call the guy and they said it was my responsibility. I was like, why am I paying rent?
Wait, what? Why are you paying rent? What is this? I do not like this.
But hey, I'm so.
Well, you know what's funny here in California is, a lot of them don't come with refrigerators.
Hello. Oh wait, I think we're losing our bear.
Uh-oh, are we losing her? We might be losing her. She's going through a
Melody.
Oh, wait, I'm back. Oh,
you're back. Okay.
No. I'm here. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm here.
She has to turn her head 45 degrees.
My phone was dying, so I had to plug it into the car.
Oh, see, I thought you were losing signal and had to like turn your head 45 degrees to like get the right signal thing. But no, we can hear you fine.
You sound good. Now we're coming through your speakers in your car. I love it.
Is it bad?
No, you sound good. You sound good. I was just saying that, here in California, when you rent an apartment, you would be surprised if you're not from here that a lot of them don't come with refrigerators, and you got to deal with that, right?
What?
Yeah.
What? I have never had that experience, but I guess
that's true. That's no fridge.
Yeah, that's intense.
Okay, yeah. So don't move to Los Angeles, people.
I've lived there.
Yeah, so let's talk about your career here, because I see Pink in it. I see my favorite Hilary Duff, which I used to always run into at the grocery store and giggle. How did you? Did you start as a songwriter? Let's talk about like your upbringing here when you started making it.
Yeah. So, fast forward, I ran off to New York when I was like 18. Long story short, and I was living there, starting to kind of do music and do theater, and I got into this conservatory on a scholarship to do like theater, and I just found myself gravitating towards music. Like I found the straight acting kind of like depressing, and I was always just like playing music. And then I went to this party and I met this French jazz piano player, and it was sort of love at first sight. We had this whirlwind 3-week romance, and he basically convinced me to move to Paris. And I was broke and I was cold and I was sick of being broke and cold in New York. And so I moved to Paris with him. And
you could be broke and cold in Paris.
Well, that was in New York, right? I think it broke my father's heart. I think he thought I would be a famous actress. And I just said, screw it. I'm going to go be in this jazz band with this guy that I'm in love with. So we had a jazz band, and we would play on the street in Paris and in Montmartre for the tourists. And we'd write our own songs, and we'd, play in the cafes, and started to get to play in festivals. And soon we had an album of songs. And I went to LA it's a long story, but to visit an old flame. Don't judge me.
Not judging. Just listening to the story. It's a good story so far.
I mean, this old flame would come back, and I really thought he was like my soulmate. And he basically showed up randomly in an email saying, "I think you are the one after all." And me being a young, idiot romantic girl was like, I need to fly back to LA to make sure. Oh, I feel really bad about some of my choices now.
I think don't worry, we have all had someone like that. We have all had someone on. Before I met my wife Linda, I had an ex-girlfriend who I broke up with, or she broke up 4 or 5 times over the span of like 5 years. We would just like get back together, like we went to college, like the same college together. We had mutual friends.
Yeah.
It was kind of easy, but it was also really hard because we were so different, and we were just like lonely and trying to make it work, and we thought that we were soulmates, and why do we keep coming back into our each other's lives? And it's like no. So yes, you're not alone. We all have something like that.
Yeah. What finally broke you of that?
What finally broke me of that? I was tired of being sad. That's really what it came down to. It's like I finally figured out, like, I am not the right person for her. She is not the right person for me. We are making each other miserable by trying to make each other happy.
Ooh, that's
and so like
song concept.
I'm sorry, what?
That's a good song concept.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, take it. Go for it.
And
I released my copyright too.
Some people don't get tired of being sad their whole lives. So good job.
Oh yeah. No, being sad sucks.
It does kind of suck.
I was tired of being sad. So okay, so you came back to Los Angeles. Oh wait, before I just want to mention, when you were in Paris, you played my wife's.
Being sad.
I was tired of being sad. When you were living in Paris, I'm looking at your biography.
Barry? Does Barry have someone like that?
Barry, you got someone like that
all the time. I mean, it's like rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? Yes. Not lately though. I'm cool. Joe's cool. I think
right now we're cool. This was
maybe we're too old for that. I don't know.
Yeah, we're old for it too.
Another good song.
Yeah, we won't talk about Barry's crazy ex-girlfriend though.
Okay, another time.
But in Paris, you played my wife's favorite museum ever, the D'Orsay.
Oh, is that in a bio somewhere?
Yeah. I'm looking at your bio right now, and when I've been to Paris once, and my wife took me there. She was like, we have to go. This is my favorite museum. I've been here twice. I love it every single time. And we went in. I was like, this museum is awesome. Just like the layout of the museum, the way that the staircases go up. Where were you playing there? Were you all the way up at the top there, or were you in the lobby? Where'd you play?
I'm so glad you brought this story up because I never get to talk about this story.
Good.
My ex and I, Jean-Baptiste, really wonderful person and so talented.
Jean-Baptiste?
Not that Jean-Baptiste.
Oh, I was gonna say, way to bury the lead there. Okay, another Jean-Baptiste, got it.
Jean-Baptiste Dufranc, he's French, and although he did take me to see Jean-Baptiste when Jean-Baptiste was just starting out. We saw him in New Orleans, and they had a little piano duel. My ex would always have these piano duels with other young and up-and-coming amazing jazz pianists, and they had a little duel, so they became friends.
So, but Jean-Baptiste versus Jean-Baptiste, that's interesting.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yes. But
okay, back to Paris.
Jean-Baptiste Dufranc and I would play on the Musee D Orsay steps for tips, and then somehow somebody must have seen us, gotten our card, but it wasn't until years later, like I was kind of starting to tell you, I ended up going to LA, and I saw the old flame, but I also got JB and I a record deal with Pat Boone. It's a long story, but I met Pat.
I love that.
Pat, I played him our little jazz songs, and he said, "This is really good. I want to be your label." But he didn't have any other young people. There were no artists on his label, just him. So it was sort of an experiment. It kind of flopped, but I was trying to create this genre called stride pop, which is like 1930s jazz piano with pop. Didn't really take off. But
not yet. You can bring it back in like 5 years.
But years later, a woman who had seen us play on the steps sent an email. And I by then had a manager, and I was living in LA, and I was writing songs for other people. And she was like, "Hey, we're having this event, and I remember you playing. Would you like to come play here at this event we're having for ambassadors at the Musee d'Orsay?" Now, she didn't seem to remember my ex-boyfriend, thank God, because we weren't together anymore. But he was the really good piano player. So awkward. But he was the really good piano player, but they wanted me to just come play. They just wanted me to come play the piano and sing. And so I had like 6 weeks, and all I did was practice the piano. I just practiced and practiced and practiced, trying to pull off that I could sound like a jazz pianist. And I flew to Paris by myself in this amazing H&M gown my friend helped me find on clearance. Like, it looked so haute couture. It was like gray, nice. And it looked like it'd been run over by a lawnmower. It was like this.
Oh, it's perfect
amazing...
for Paris.
It was perfect. And I get there, and they set me up at the piano, and everybody's in tuxedos. And I think I drank 9 glasses of the best French champagne on the planet. And I was so drunk. And I just remember bouncing down the cobblestone streets after smoking my cigarette in my gown in Paris.
Oh, that sounds like such a great Paris story, because the Museum d'Orsay, it's right by the Seine too, so you just like bounded down the steps toward the river.
And I did meet up with my French ex for some steak.
For some steak, huh?
But we didn't hook up. No, we didn't hook up. I think he expected us to, but I was like, no.
Oh, wait. Steak isn't hooking up? Oh, I don't know what the youths say these days, so I just thought, Anyway. No, that's awesome. I love that story.
No,
I love that
would have
so
been
much.
Joe, that would have been a mistake.
Man, I love this interview so much. All right, we're talking with Melly Mel. Melody Federer here. I just like to call her Melly Mel. So she's had some really great experiences all across the world. In Paris, she's back in LA writing songs in her past for people like Kelly Rowland. Are you kidding me? Oh, I love Kelly Rowland.
That was really cool. I'm surprised. Yeah. I'm glad you chose Kelly Rowland. You are a really great interviewer, because I feel like these are the questions I've always wanted to be asked, but nobody asked these questions.
What are you talking about? These are the questions that everybody should be asking, because my goodness. Okay, Kelly Rowland does not get the pub that she deserves just because she was in a band with Beyonce, and everyone goes to Beyonce, but Kelly Rowland is freaking talented.
Like, you were the first interviewer to bring that up, like, ever. Everybody always just goes straight to Pink. No one mentions Kelly Rowland.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Pink too. I'm gonna raise a glass every now and then, but it's Kelly Rowland. It's Kelly freaking Rowland.
Thank you. Right? I know.
Oh my goodness. It's like I think I really do believe that, like, people just write her off because she was like, oh, she was part of Destiny's Child with Beyonce. Let's talk about Beyonce.
Man, wouldn't that be so hard? Like, to go your whole life in Beyonce's shadow?
But she is such a star in her own right. She's got some great songs, and I'm sure that you wrote some of those R&B tracks that made her kind of iconic herself.
No.
Oh, don't put yourself down. No, come on. Give yourself some credit here.
Not one of her hits. It was more of like a fringe thing. I doubt you've even heard it, honestly. But it was my first big cut, and so it meant everything to me. But it was tough because there was a little drama with it. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I want to hear it.
Well, so I wrote this with this incredibly talented young gay British guy, and he was like 19 and I was like 23, and I had this impulse living in LA. I'd just gotten my first manager, and I was playing in a lounge every night at the Hilton playing piano, and I was just itching for like something to happen in my career. Like, I was itching. I was like, I wanted to write songs. I wanted to be legit. And I had this manager, and I had this impulse to just drive across the country. I was like, I just want to drive to New York. Like, screw it. I'm sick of LA. I'm going to drive across the country, make up songs for strangers, bring my little laptop, write songs on the way. So I drove across the country, and I get there, and my manager goes, this is crazy, but I think I just got this new job, and it's for this publisher, Billy Mann, and he's a hit songwriter, and he just happens to be in New York. Can you meet him today? And I was like, yes, I just happen to be in New York.
Telling you.
It really was. So I met him, and he was so cool. And he said, hey, there's this other songwriter here in our building with BMG. Why don't you write some songs with him, and we'll see how it goes. He's signed to me. We'll see the songs you write. We'll see how it goes. So I spent this whole summer holed up with this kid, Sash, and we became like best friends. And we would just write these emo songs. One day we'd say, let's write a song for Kelly Clarkson. Let's write a song for Pink. And we'd just wander around New York and write our little songs. And one day we just wrote this song, and it just flowed so fast. And Kelly Rowland loved it. So I got a pub deal. Kelly Rowland wants to cut the song. However, she loved Sash's voice. And so she wanted to fly him out to LA, and they got to spend the day together writing. I wasn't invited, but it's okay.
Oh, boo, no, Kelly. You could have just been in the room, fly on the wall status or something. Sheesh.
I know. But that wasn't the drama. The drama was Sash was so talented, but no one knew who he was. He had this incredible voice, but he didn't have a following. Whereas this young artist that had this massive following really liked the song and wanted to do the duet. And so he got the duet part, and it really crushed Sash, my co-writer, because he thought this was going to be his big moment. He thought he was going to get to do a duet with Kelly. It was like a really rough thing, but I was still so excited that we got the cut. I was like, we got the cut with Kelly. But for him, it was really like kind of heartbreaking. Because
I mean, anyway. I get that, because it's like, yes, you did something great, but you were kind of promised or someone dangled a little bit something more out there. And then, sometimes it's like you look at that little more and you're like, oh, but I didn't get all of it. And so it's hard to be happy for the stuff that you actually did accomplish. So maybe it's better that you didn't get to go see Kelly, because now it's like you can still internalize that was a very important part of your career and a stepping stone.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Instead of thinking, oh, I missed out on the duet, you could be like, I wrote a song for Kelly freaking Rowland.
Yeah, so cool. I've never told any of these stories, by the way, so this is really fun.
Oh, well, that's great. Okay, well, hey.
Hopefully Sash doesn't hear this and kill me, but we haven't talked in years, so I'm sure.
Okay, Sash, call her and say hi. Say get back together.
He probably doesn't even know my number anymore.
Oh, but
I hope he's well, wherever he is.
We'll give it to him. Come, call Barry up. Barry will give it to you.
I'll connect. I'll be a virtual manager. This sounds good.
That sounds very appealing.
All right, so now you're in New York. What year is it now? You've just written your song. Sash is off. He's done his own thing.
I have absolutely
Where are you now?
no idea. I have no idea.
I have no idea.
It is all a blur.
All right. Well, now you're. Go ahead.
But it was around the time that I licked Michael Bolton's face. I will tell you that.
You can't bring up something like that and not tell the story.
Well, I know. I wanted to tell the story.
All right. Okay. This is Melody Federer's story about how she licked Michael Bolton's face. Go.
Okay. So the same guy who decided to sign me after the Kelly Rowland song, Billy, he would host these incredible writing retreats. And he wrote lots of hits for Pink. That's how I got to meet her. That's how I met Burt Bacharach. And because he's such a people person. And he threw this really great writing camp and flew us all to New York. And he surprised us by bringing Michael Bolton to like teach us. And some lucky people got to write with him. I was not one of those. I had to write with this guy from New Jersey who really was into Fireball. And I'm kind of a lightweight and I'd never had Fireball shots. And he was like, we got to loosen up. We got to do some Fireball. Like, come on. And so I think I must have done 2 or 3, which was really dumb. And then here I am, and there's Michael Bolton, and I'm a little sad and bitter because I'm not in the group writing with him, but I'm like, I'm still going to meet him and I'm going to make up a song for him because I do that. I make up songs for strangers thing. I actually have a video with him doing the song right after I licked his face, or it might have been before. Might have been before. I don't think he talked to me after I licked his face, but I just went up to him and I meant to lean in to kiss his cheek for some absurd reason. And instead I just got close to his cheek and I licked it. I licked his cheek and he just looked at me like I was insane. And my publisher had a talk with me that day. He said, Mel, you need to tone down the sexuality.
Oh, that's
he was
fantastic.
like, you're at a 10, you got to bring it down to a 5. Yeah, no excuse.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I know what the
you have my permission to lick Barry's face whenever you want.
Yeah, no, only on 3 shots.
At
least.
Do I have your consent, Barry?
Yeah, only with a few shots of Fireball, please.
Does anybody drink Fireball? Like,
No, what a
besides
dated
that guy?
reference that is.
Oh man, that was like,
I
yeah, that was
know.
like, oh, that was UC Santa Barbara era for me. Well,
That was
maybe a
shots.
little bit of LA.
Just makes me think of Pitbull, or who's
Yeah.
the guy who did that song that's like
It's like,
Fireball?
yeah, I want to get my fist up in the air. I'm pumping away. I'm like, Fireball, yeah, Pitbull. It's gonna be awesome. I just want to go to Miami now. Okay, Barry, I'm just gonna hop a flight to Miami.
You're going to go
Can I
ahead and
come,
get Pitbull,
please?
Joe? Go ahead.
Please come.
I just got back from
Miami.
Palm Springs. I don't know if I can take any more heat and humidity.
Oh,
right
look
now.
at you living that high life.
Oh yeah, living the high life of being unemployed. Woo! Go out there, go to Palm Springs, hang out by a pool because I got nothing else to do.
Oh God, I love Palm Springs and those hot springs, those like healing springs.
Oh yeah, the actual agua caliente. Yes,
Yes,
they are very nice.
love
I have, I feel there's a couple places. I am a native Southern Californian, and I really feel like I have been sleeping on 2 places. One, Catalina. I had not been to Catalina
Oh my
before.
gosh.
I
Isn't
went
it
there
magical?
It's magical, and I had no idea. My wife and I were looking for wedding venues like, what, 12 years ago now. And we were looking all up and down the coast trying to find like a beach resort. And my wife was like, let's just go over to Catalina. Let's go check it out. It was like,
Yeah.
we went over there on the beach for 6 hours with a bar. It was like half the price of any other place on the mainland. So
Did
we
you
were
get
like,
married there?
yeah, we got married on the beach at sunset in Catalina at the beach club.
I
It was
love that.
fantastic. It was
I love
fantastic.
that.
So
it is a
I had
magical
not-
place.
It was a magical place. I was 38 before I went to Catalina. I lived here my
Wow.
whole life. The other thing is Palm Springs, I feel like I've been sleeping on it. Like we go out
Yeah.
past it to like Desert Springs or Palm Desert or Coachella.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But Palm Springs itself is so cute and kitschy, and it's got all the colors that I like. And
It really
oh
is
my
so cute.
gosh, they have great food there. Holy crap.
The Mexican food, so good.
Just everything. I went to a place called The Farm. They have the most bomb breakfast crepes. I had this like bananas fostered dulce de leche
oh my gosh.
crepe. It was, oh my, I just want that taste in my mouth all the time. So yeah,
That's
I
what
totally get it. Like there are
she-
places that I've been sleeping on, and I shouldn't do that. I got to get out more like you. You get out. You go. You've been places. You've seen stuff.
Where you been lately there, Mel?
I've got some Palm Springs stories, but it would be a strange segue, so I may just leave those off. It would be a whole other vibe. Lately, I last lived in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, okay. We got friends up there.
So,
That's where my family lives up there. They all moved up to Sammamish.
oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on
I lived
the
there
other side
during the
of that lake
pandemic.
right there.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And then you've
so
been
I was up there
been
the last few-
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. So you've been up
Oh, no,
there
that was
for
it. Yeah.
That was it. That's the whole story. You've just been up in Seattle, and then it's been boring.
I could bring in the whole thing about my baby daddy and why I moved up there and having to spend the pandemic there and how hard that was and blah blah blah. But
okay, well, that covered that. What about the?
Yeah.
So in 2017, let's get back to music. Let's get back to music.
Finally.
In 2017,
you get me, man.
I know, I get you. You released your debut album, Where the Dogwoods Bloom, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then throughout the next couple years, you had some singles from there, and then we hit COVID, and then you started writing your next album. How did that go?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So I, roundabout different cities, ended up in Nashville, ended up pregnant. Best thing that ever happened to me, I don't want to say it was a surprise, but it was a surprise. But if my kid ever listens to this, it was like an amazing surprise. The best surprise ever. But that's what inspired that album. It was like kind of a shock. I was still really young. Well, I'm just going to pretend like I was still really young. And, I come from such a conservative family. It was sort of like a big deal. Like, wow, I'd gotten pregnant out of wedlock.
Out of wedlock. Oh my goodness, out of wedlock.
Well, okay, marriage. But we tried to make it work, and it was kind of a beautiful chapter, honestly. Like in the beginning, before things fell apart, he had to take a job back in LA. So I was living in Nashville, found out we were pregnant. This was very early on in dating this guy. But we tried to make it work. And so we drove cross country back to LA. And that's when I started writing a lot of those songs. I think it was on that trip when I was like newly pregnant. We both had walkie-talkies. We would like chat with each other and stop in the different states. And we were so in love. And during that period of being pregnant in California and just spending that special time together and her being born, it was just like a magical time. But then his company sold and he lost his job. And then we moved to Washington to be near his family. And then the pandemic hit, and it was just like blow after blow. And we were just going through the ringer. It was rough. And we hardly knew each other. Like it was really hard. And anyway, so When the Dogwoods Bloom came out, that did well on like college radio. But then when we moved to Seattle, I think I'm very influenced by the cities I live in. Like in Paris, I was around jazz, so I wrote jazz. And in New York and LA, I was around pop. And so I really wrote pop. And then in Seattle, I was around a lot of rock, but I was isolated. So I think all those genres kind of came together in a weird way because it was mostly me in my bedroom writing. So I wasn't really influenced too much. And that's how this album was born. And it's kind of my baby. Like, I think it has all these different influences, and I just love this album so much. I've been waiting forever for it to come out, and now it finally gets to see the light of day. It's wild.
Well, the album title is very apropos as well, because Chapters from the Fairytale, that's just what you were talking about the last five years of your life. You met the guy, you had the kid. Fairy tales have drama. They're not all just, nice rainbows and smiley faces and puppy dogs. Fairy tales can have a little
for this album. That's my new quote for the album. Fairy tales have drama. I love
fairy tales have drama.
That's really good.
Because a fairy tale without drama is going to be boring. There's got to be something that goes on where you can come out stronger on the other side. That's what a fairy tale is about. It's a story about perseverance and self-reflection. It's about growing. So the fairy tale is about getting to the place where you've gotten to now.
Wow.
So I love the name of that album. I really feel like it hits the story really well.
Wow. I'm glad you love that. That was just a fluke talking to Kerry Brown, the label owner. He has a place in Maui, and so right now he's pretty devistated. He loves Maui. And
I'm a big Hawaii person myself. We have a trip planned for next month, actually. We're hoping we can still go. If we can get out there, We're still, looking at it. We haven't canceled yet. We're hoping if we can get out there that we're gonna take a couple days of our vacation and volunteer for the cleanup.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I know he's trying to do a ton. Carrie, I should mention, he's the one who, while I was in isolation posting a lot of bedroom songs, he sort of saw the songs, and he had known Billy years back, and he started being like, I really like these songs you're posting. And that's what led to me signing to his little label. I think I'm the first artist he signed. And he's really interesting because he was a drummer in the 90s, and he toured with like the Smashing Pumpkins and produced some of their songs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's married to this incredible film producer. I think she's the most famous female film producer in history. She works with oh God, he did Pulp Fiction. Is it Tarantino?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Quentin Tarantino did Pulp Fiction, yes.
Right. And so Carrie's just seems to know everyone and just has this cool Hollywood family. And yeah, he's sort of a mystery to me, even though he's the guy who signed me. But I forgot the point of this story. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
you get me.
No, okay. Here's where I come in because I'm taking notes. You were talking about chapters from the fairy tale, and you were telling him it was kind of a fluke name for it.
Oh, right. Well, I was gonna name it "Sleepless in Seattle," honestly, because that was a song that was gonna be on it that I wrote, and that's how I felt. I was like working all these weird jobs during the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, I'd had enough songs getting royalties that I didn't have to work much, and I got to just raise my baby girl. And then the pandemic hit, and all the royalties stopped. A lot of them were from Sirius, and changes happened. And suddenly, I was single mom. We'd separated, and suddenly, abruptly, from 1 month to the next, I went from enough income to pay rent and do everything to $0. And it was so scary. And so I waitressed, I worked at a retirement home, and I got a job as an editor at a news station. I kind of fibbed my resume a little. I said I'd studied journalism, but I'd only studied journalism for a summer. But tisk on them, I guess they didn't look into that because they just saw journalism, blah blah, and they thought, oh, she studied journalism. So I kind of
you got a connection. Can you hook a brother up? I can write some news over here.
Yes, it's in Seattle though. Can you move to Seattle?
Hey, I've been thinking about it. My family's up there.
No, I don't.
Barry would hate it. Barry would hate it. That's a long commute for him.
I used to live in Portland. I'm thinking about Seattle. Oh, that'd be fine with the big old diamond needle thing. Mm-hmm.
I could link you up, but I don't think you'd want me as a reference. I don't think I left on the best term. See, I'm really bad at normal jobs, being a songwriter.
Well, I'll just call and be like, hey, Melly Mel told me to call. You know Melly Mel, right? Yeah.
They'd be like,
she's good people.
The girl who snuck out of work early all the time. That's what I got in trouble at that job for doing that, because there were days where it was like everything was done and I was just so sick of being there, and I would leave.
And you had to go to your third job that day, gotta pay the rent. So I get it. You gotta sneak out early.
But they had a scanner that would track when you came in and out of the doors, and I didn't know that.
No, you don't need someone big brothering you. I'm glad you're back into the songwriting business, because man, you don't need that. Someone clocking in, clocking out. Ugh.
I hate clocking in and clocking out. I hate having bosses. I hate hourly pay, which I have to do that here as a single mom. I actually snuck out of my current job to come talk to you guys. I'm in the parking lot.
Well, we're totally worth it.
Oh, you are. You are.
Totally worth it.
You definitely are. And I'm just, waiting. Music is feast and famine. So I'm just waiting on that next, gotta have faith. Just waiting on that next big win. Hopefully this album does something. But
talking about feast, let's talk about the new single and the new album that's coming out. When is the next single, and what is it?
Talking about feast.
It's gonna happen. Positive thoughts.
I want to hear about the single, because there's a single, and that's what on Friday it's coming.
There's a single? Where is he?
He's not in Seattle.
Ooh. Single mom alert. Single mom alert.
What is the single? And like, tell us about that, and then let's play it and stuff, and then you can. You
guys don't know what the single is?
We know we're playing stupid for our listeners, Mel. Come on.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure Emily Ginsberg. Emily Ginsberg at Big Hassle told you because she's awesome. Shout out to Emily.
Love her. Em's great. Yeah, she brings us lots of good people.
I love her. She is so cool. But the single is called Falling Out, and it's about how easy it is to fall in love and how difficult it is to fall out of it.
Oh my gosh.
And that's basically it. It started as
we were
just
talking about that.
You were? Who
No, yeah, you and I coming with the revolving door of X's. Like, how do you fall out? How do you get the falling out part? Like the falling in's easy. Yeah, like trying to figure out how to like break it off that's tough.
I know. It's almost messed up. Like chemically, you start to fall, and even right now, I kind of like this dude a little bit, and I'm like, we've only been on a few dates. Like I'm trying to keep my eyes wide open. I really am, and I'm trying to like slow down the onrush of crush chemicals because I'm generally attracted to jerks, honestly. And so I'm like, if I'm attracted to him, I'm working on it. Don't worry. But I'm like, if I'm attracted to him, is he a jerk? So I'm like trying to like, see, are you a jerk? Are you a jerk? But it's hard to slow down the falling in part when you finally connect with someone because I feel like we're all so lonely. It's hard to find that connection.
Oh,
I don't know.
Absolutely. I totally get what you're talking about. I mean, even from like I am so lucky that I found my wife, but you know, I'm getting up there. I'm a little bit older. Finding friends is even difficult.
I just heard a thing about that today about guys. The older they get, the harder it is for them to maintain friendships. Whereas women are naturally like they're good at creating communities and they know when they need to like air their feelings out and they'll just go out and start a friendship. But for guys, they say it's really hard as you get older to like do that and make new
it is. And it's like,
friends.
you know, and you get it. It's like people start moving away from your neighborhoods. And if you stay, then all your friends move. And then you move, you make some new friends and then they move away. And it does. It's like, it's hard. And everyone's got other responsibilities, you know, like jobs and kids. And like, the kids got to go to soccer practice or I got to pick them up from daycare. Oh, you know, got to go do some stuff for the wife or you know, I'm just trying to find a couple hours to take my boyfriend out on a date. It's hard. Life is hard, you know. It
is,
and there's time, and so it's like when it comes to friendship, it's a little bit more difficult because it's like, my wife and I don't have kids, you know, and we're trying to hustle, trying to find new jobs, and our friends, you know, they might only live 10 miles away, but man, that's 10 miles in Los Angeles traffic over the hill to get to the beach, and then. You know, if you do that, that's like an hour to get there. I can only have like a drink because I got to drive home. And, you know, then it's trying to figure out, okay, well, I can get there at 4. Okay, well, I'm available till 6. And then at 6, my babysitter's up. So I got to go pick up my kids.
Right.
And it gets tough to like try to keep a rhythm, especially when people don't live like, you know, it used to be easy in our 20s. Like our friend was like the next block over. You know, and it was like, you know, hey, let's just go meet at the park.
You're in high school and they're the next like locker over and you get to see them every day. Yeah, my dad always talks about that, how it's tough nowadays on marriages because we used to all live in these communities. So, you know, the sisters and the aunts would help with the kids and the wife would have someone to talk to and the dad could hang out with the brothers or the uncles and blah, blah, blah. And now we all move away in these little isolated microcosms, you know. I just wanted to use that big word. And I actually didn't, but
wait, it sounds like it. Hey, but, good on you.
Thank you. I just lie and say I did on my resume though. But no, which you should do. You should try.
The Southern Hamptons Institute of Technology.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna Google that.
SHIT. It's
just
from
make it like SHITLLMCWR. cute.
Exactly.
Be like, oh, it was established and then it broke down in 2000. There was a fire.
Yeah, it's no longer around. No, you can't call anybody about it. No, but it is true. It's like you can fall into a relationship really easy, but especially when it comes to like a romantic relationship, most times most people are pretty decent and they're like, I don't want to hurt this person, but it's not going to work. And so it's like that falling out period takes so long.
So long, like for the chemicals to like wear off. It's like we're like biologically wired for connection. We want that so badly. And so there's all these chemicals, I feel like, that come to your aid when you think you've found a partner that want to bond you. Like that's how we're wired. And then suddenly now it's like I feel like we just jump from partner to partner to partner to partner, and it's just like so tricky because you like stick and then you have to unstick and then you have to stick again and then you have to unstick. Oh, but what I was saying about the couples was now it's like the husband and wife and boyfriend and girlfriend, they rely on each other for everything. Like the girl's relying on the guy to be her lover, her best friend, the dad, the this and that, and it's just so much pressure on relationships. But that's away from the point.
Nope. Totally feel you. I feel that point. I feel that point in my heart.
Yeah.
I feel it. So, okay. So that song, Falling, is falling out, falling in, falling out, falling out, falling out, falling out. Falling out. That's this Friday, August.
Yes, 15th. I can't believe it.
Can we play it first? Like, can we play it like right now? Like next? Can we do that?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. That would be the like premiere of it. Actually, this doesn't.
On one condition, Melly Mel, if you promise to never unstick with us.
Oh, never.
Oh, you're gonna give us a never? That's so nice.
I'm gonna send you some
every time a single comes out and all that jazz, please.
Oh, wait, hold on, Barry. Mel, are you gonna send us stickers?
I'm gonna send you stickers with my face on it.
Yay! I love stickers. I love stickers so much. I'm going to put it right on my snowboarding helmet.
Okay, I'll send you stickers. Just awesome. Send me an address and I'll find some stickers.
Yes.
You are an amazing person.
This is why we podcast, so people send us free stuff.
Free stickers. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Barry.
Well, Mel, thanks for coming on. Thanks so much.
This literally made my day. You guys just reminded me how great my life was outside of the office.
Oh, life was. No, life is.
We want that review for our podcast.
Life is great.
I can't help it, no, we said goodbye. It's harder than I thought, trying to cut these ties. I was dreaming, now I'm almost awake. Don't wanna see what's right in front of my face. I guess the higher you fly, the harder you fall. These broken wings are healing slow. Falling in love, it was a walk in the park. Strawberry ice cream kissing in the dark. Midnight movies went a little too far. Making plans under a blanket of stars. Something happened in the blink of an eye. Now you're someone I don't recognize. Falling in love, it was a walk in the park. Falling out of this hard part. So who's leaving? It's a talking town. I can't handle seeing you around. Maybe time will make it all okay. Until